Hangsters and Daytona Beach, and I got to do this one just a little bit different, just because it's so dramatic. I mean, I just have to do this. Engine compartment. Normally we have the hood open, but ta-da! Look at that. You want to see something that's an absolute showstopper? There it is. 454 big block Chevy, dual line Holley on it, double pumper, Edelbrock intake manifold, aluminum. I'm going to call them 2 1/8 headers on it, long tube headers. They're pretty large diameter primary tubes on them. It has a set of cast aluminum valve pan covers, of course painted blue to match the outside of the car. 14-inch unsilenced air cleaner, the correct hoses top and bottom on the radiator. High flow radiator in it. Power steering, the reservoir on top here, it does have power steering. It has power brakes on it. Dual stage master cylinders, you can see that's all chrome plated. While he's over here, Devin can show you a picture of the cowl tag, which is nice and clean and legible, just as nice as can be. This car's done more of a custom car, but very high end, very well done. Remote oil filter on it, check this out. All you gotta do is reach underneath the front end to drop the oil filter down. It's real easy to get to the drain plug. Serpentine drive belt system on a complete billet aluminum bracketry front end on this guy. It has a, wow, they did a nice job of this. A really nice electric fan built into a factory style shroud. Shut off on the battery, new battery in it. I'm sure Donnie did that. It does have air conditioning, and also the heater hoses are still hooked up to the passenger compartment. So you have air conditioning, and you also have heat in case it goes to some of our northern states. MSD ignition system in it. Distributor and billet distributor and MSD box on it, so you notice things putting out some serious voltage. The inner fender panels are painted a gloss black as opposed to a semi-flat black the way they came from the factory. Does have a cowl induction hood. Of course, it's not hooked up with a sealed air cleaner to it, but you could do it if you wanted to. Let's see here. New condenser in the front here. No marks whatsoever on the radiator core support. Chrome strut supports on it. Jesus, there's nothing on this vehicle that has not been addressed in one way or the other. It's a 454, it's built, it has a substantial cam in it. We're assuming it's a 454. It may even be more than that. You know, whenever you get a big block Chevy, there are so many stroker kits out there today. We can't definitively say it's so many cubic inches. It could be more, but we can tell you what the motor started life as, and that was a 454. Just an outstanding vehicle, definitely approaching a very show quality vehicle. Steering, brakes, air, high silicone plug wires. There's nothing on this vehicle that has not been addressed to the nth degree. So we're going to go around the rest of it, show you what the outside looks like. Okay, our presentation today is for a 1969 Camaro. Really a great looking car, and it's not a driver quality paint job car. Very high end. It looks like black. It isn't black. It's charcoal gray striping, metallic in it also. Obviously a really pretty blue color. You can see the stripes, but you can't feel them. It's been cleared over so much. Look at the gap from the fender to the hood, to the front header panel, to the cowl panel. Everything lines up as precise as you could ever hope to find on one of these first generation Camaros. Camaro designation on it. Again, you can see the alignment of the hood and the fenders both sides there and the front area. No windows missing on the grille whatsoever. It is an RS front end, so it's got peekaboo headlights on it. No scuffs or marks whatsoever on the front bumper. The chrome on it is nice and fresh and clean, just the way it was when it was new. Front spoiler, of course, on it. Parking lights nice and clean, lenses on them. There's no distortion whatsoever or cracking or yellowing of the plastic on it. The front valance, there's no pull marks or any kind of indentures or anything from rocks being thrown up through the years. Just a very dramatic front end, especially with that RS package on it. It really has a nice dramatic look to it. Going down the side of it, the side marker lights, of course. Wheel lip moldings on it. You're going to have 4 of those. Better have 4 of those or we're in trouble. Look at the fitment of this guy, though. Look at this. Cowl panel, hood, fender, door. Look at this. Just as precise as you can get. Correct wiper arms and blades. No, not the blades. The blades are an aftermarket blade. They're kind of an Amco, but they are similar to the ones that came on it from the factory. Vintag, nice and legible. Tinted windshield in the front. It does have air. Tinted windows on the side also. Trim around the front window. There's no marks or dents or anything whatsoever on it. Correct rectangular mirrors that would have come on this car in 1969. No dents on the drip rail molding. Look at this. Is that about nice or what? And also, where there's usually patina on this piece of chrome on the rear quarter glass, absolutely none. But look at this fitment. Totally amazing. New Ipes whiskers. You can see everything works and fits just as it should there. We showed you the gap in the front. Check this out. Got a nice gap in the back, and there's no overhang whatsoever to the door. New handles on it. And get inside the car. I like to see this where they don't overspray the locks and the latches and everything. And, there's the one in the vehicle on the quarter panel the same way. Molded armrests on it. The door panels are nice and fresh and clean looking. Door sill kick plates are really, really nice on it. In front of the door, in your door jambs in the front, nice and fresh and clean. Devin's going to show you some good high-resolution pictures of it. The deluxe interior in it with the center console in it, and it has a 5-speed Tremec in it as opposed to a regular 4-gear also. Aftermarket steering wheel in it, probably a billet one. I can't really tell. Does have tilt wheel in it though also, as you can see. There's no marks or anything on the dashboard. The padded dash, there's no deviations on it, no warpage or no cracks certainly. The interior of the car is exemplary. It has a set of really neat retractable seat belts. I've never really seen this in one, but it does have a set of retractable seat belts in it, and also seat belts in the rear. Seat belts in the front, seat belts in the rear, headrest seats. Geez, I can't go over enough of this stuff, and they are the molded headrest too. Nice interior in this car. Very nice and fresh looking. Very nice. New rubbers on the doors. Very nice and resilient. That's why you got to kind of give it a little bit of a push there. There is, and you're not going to be able to see it, but I'm telling you it's there. And I got to find it. First I got to find it. It looks like a scratch. I still can't find it. Here it is. It looks like a scratch. I think it's more of a crack in the paint than a scratch. Whenever the paint was applied for whatever reason, there's a small crack there. I couldn't find it, and I'm looking at it with Devin's light, but if you get it in the right angle, you can see that there is it's about 4 inches long, and it's a very, and I mean hairline crack. Trim around the back window, the same as it was on the front. Hat rack in the back. You could not get it any nicer or cleaner. It has speaker perforations in it just the way it would have been from the factory. The side of the car is just absolutely just as straight as you could ever find one. I'm going to call them 8-inch rallies in the back. They may even be a little bit bigger than that. They're a serious set of rally wheels in the back with the tall hats on them. Front ones I know are going to be 7-inch rally wheels by 15. Nice set of BFG tires, front and rear on it, all new. Radial TAs, pretty much everybody's choice of tires, those, and Cooper Cobras. Rear deck, same as it was up front with the hood. Look at the fitment of that. Look at the gap. This is really dramatic. I mean, I'm trying to describe it to you, but it's a beautiful medium blue color, metallic. You can't feel the stripes, but they're there, and they're charcoal gray. They're not black. They may appear to be black, but they're not. They're a deep charcoal gray color. Trim around the taillight bezels. There's no patina whatsoever on that. Chevy emblem in the back. It's an RS, so it does have the backup lights underneath the rear bumper, which, by the way, doesn't have a single flaw in it anyway. And the bumper fitment front and rear is really spot on in this vehicle. No pulls on the rear pan on it. Look at this. You still have the jack. Another rally wheel, an original equipment style rally wheel with another BFG tires, Camaro floor mats to go along with it. I'm not going to tear all this up for you, but the floor in this car is just as fresh and new as it was when it was new in 1969. So you have an entire jack assembly. They've even gone to to put paper between the jack pieces so that none of the paint is chipped up on them. Again, new rubbers on the back here to coincide with the ones on the doors. Just a really outstanding car. Can't get much nicer than this. Passenger side, I'm sure it's going to be the same as the driver's side. Everything down the side of this vehicle, of course, are wheel lip moldings. There's no dents whatsoever in them. Trim around the back window, spot on as it was on the other side. The grip rail, again, no marks on it. Great addition, right-hand mirror. Devin will get you better pictures of this. Like I said, he's going to have a lot of high-resolution photos of this vehicle for you so that you can go over them. He's going to probably compile about 100 or close to it high-resolution photographs of every aspect of this car: interior, engine compartment, undercarriage, exterior, everything, and plus a couple walk-arounds, you know, without us talking in it. Gap, look at that. Same thing as the other side. Wipes, whiskers, new. Gap in the front, the same as it was on the other side. Camaro designation on it, and again, look at this. Look at this. This is totally amazing. And we're back where we started again. I mean, you just watched us go over this entire vehicle from beginning to end, right where we started. And really couldn't find any chips, any marks, any indentures, no door dents. That one little, and again, I don't even know if you can see it, but I'm telling you it's there. It's a scratch. If you see it in the right light, it's more of a crack than a scratch, but you really have to see it at the right angle and the right light to even pick it up, because I don't know if Devin will be able to even pick it up with a camera. Rally wheels, great color combination, RS package, big block Chevy, 5-speed Tremec, tinted glass, air conditioning, power steering, power brakes. What else do you want out of life? It's here at Hangsters in Daytona Beach, and we really encourage everybody to come down and take a look at these guys in person. You know, that way we can take them out and run them through the gears and put them up on the rack, and you can see exactly what you're buying here at Hangsters. But if you can't, that's why Devin's going to spend about 5 hours putting these videos and all these photographs together so that you can take a look at this, and it'll help you in your purchase of a car from Hangsters in Daytona Beach. Okay, this is the underside of our blue with charcoal gray, really dark charcoal gray stripes, 69 Camaro SS style RS car, peekaboo headlights in it. And as impressive as the top part of this car was, the undercarriage is probably even more impressive. I'm going to try to go through this as fast as I can so I can point things out, because it would take forever to point out every little aspect of this car underneath. Heavy duty sway bar in the front. You can see the oil pan has been deepened. It's a modified oil pan, big wide bottom on it so the oil doesn't stand up in it. It's probably about an 8.5 quart pan. I'm going to say it's at least 8.5 quart pan. Conventional starter, no leaks on the bell housing, no leaks on the engine. You can see everything is fresh on the motor. Our long tube headers going back into a 3.5 collector, then into a 3-inch primary pipe, X pipe. The springs in the front are new, the shocks in the front are new, and oh my, the springs and shocks are a match set, and they are adjustable. You can adjust the spring pressure by turning it up on the shock body. Very high end alloy shock bodies. New backing plates, new rotors, new calipers, new brakes, new associated hardware, new tie rod ends, new steering blocks, new pitman arm, new idler arm. 5-speed Tremec transmission. The subframes on this thing are absolutely flawless. There's not even any indentures from, a little tiny one here. You got to see it in the right light. But there is a little tiny mark there from jack being used through the years on it. The floor pans are absolutely flawless. They are just as nice and bright and shiny as the top of this car is. Where they adhere, where they're attached to the rocker panels, the pinch wells are still really evident on them. The brake line is a replacement brake line, and it has the warble in it the way it's supposed to, so you don't want a straight line of fuel trying to push itself back. That's the way they should be. X-type exhaust system on our 3-inch pipe going back toward the Flowmaster mufflers. Functional parking brake on this guy. Discs in the front, and we'll show you in a second here, it's got discs in the rear too. But it does have a functional parking brake, which is really an oddity on a disc brake rear Camaro. Very few of them have it. Some frame connectors, very well done on it. Brake lines are all stainless steel, and they're all wire wrapped just the way they would have been from the factory. The body mounts on this vehicle have been all replaced, and I can't really see. I think they're they're polyurethane body mounts from what I can see. Let's see here. No leaks on the tail shaft, no leaks on the transmission at all. And you can see, at least at this point, there are no leaks, but don't worry, it's a muscle car, so if it isn't leaking now, a year or two, you'll definitely find some oil on the floor, no question. The springs in the back have a nice curvature to them, a nice arch to them, multi-leaf rear suspension in this guy. It does have a set of, I think they're air shocks. Yes, they are. They're air shocks, and of course they're staggered to compensate for torque bias on these vehicles. Heavy-duty 10-inch rear end in this vehicle. New U-joints on the drive shaft. Again, our Flowmaster mufflers. 3-inch in and 3-inch out. This thing's got a serious exhaust system on it. Really serious exhaust. Disc brakes in the rear with a functional parking brake. Big plus. Traction bars, these are definitely a must-have for a Chevy. Stainless steel brake lines, stainless steel fuel lines. I mean, everything on this car is really, really high-end. And I think, I'm not positive, but I think that is a stainless steel gas tank also. Subframes where they go up over the rear differential, and the floor pans, everything is finely painted and polished, just like the top of the car that we showed you just a few minutes ago here. The drop-downs and the quarters are absolutely flawless. This car is just, it's really an over-the-top vehicle. If you look underneath here, you can see the way everything has been addressed. There's not one little aspect of this vehicle that hasn't been attended to. It's a very, very high-quality restoration with a lot of performance modifications on it. It's not an inexpensive Camaro, but it's also a Camaro that was probably going to be half of what it would cost you to do this were you to do it yourself. This car is already done. It's turnkey. We're going to go for a ride and see how this guy runs. I have not driven it yet, but we'll find out here shortly. Phenomenal car. And if you're in the market for a really up-end 69 Camaro RS style car, this is a car you should definitely pay a little bit of attention to, and it's here at Hanksters in Daytona Beach. Okay, this is our really outstanding 69 Camaro, blue and charcoal. I'm going to call it black too. Charcoal, it's so dark it's almost black. Tilt steering wheel in it. So we got a tilt wheel that has a horn that works. Chevy emblem in the center. Turn signal left, working as it should. Turn signal right, working as it should. And guess what? This guy's got air conditioning too. So the compressor does kick on and blowing nice and cold, blowing icicles already. Let's see what else we got here. We have wipers working, intermittent wipers even. Tachometer working as it should. Got a quadrant of gauges down here on the console. Oil pressure holding 50 to 60 pounds. Give it a little gas, it goes up to about 60. Water temperature just starting to come up. It's I don't know, about 130 degrees right now. Amps up about 14 volts, right just about where they should be. 5-speed Tremec. Headliner, you didn't see this, but Devin's going to show you a lot of pictures of it. Headliner is just absolutely spot on. Can't get any nicer. Seatbelts in the back, seatbelts in the front, which I don't have on. Just an outstanding vehicle. It cannot possibly be any better than it is. Also, got a nice hole in the dash here for you to put whatever sound system you determine that you want in the car. Has a carbon fiber type of material on the dashboard for the enclosure, but you can put whatever type of radio you want in it. Nothing's been hacked up or modified in any way other than there is no radio or sound system in the car at this point. So, and we're not going to install one, so that's for the person who ever buys a vehicle. He can put whatever he wants on it. We're going to go for a ride, see what this guy sounds like. Goes down the road as absolutely straight as you could ever hope for. Look at this. No hands on the wheel. I got aim right though. Real high resolution steering. Small steering wheel, so if you move this thing a quarter of an inch, the car responds that way. Very, very nice high resolution steering on it. It's bike week down here, and we have a lot of cars on the road here today, so I'm going to try to get a little shot here whenever we pull out, but it's going to be tough to really lay into this thing hard. And I really want to, but this thing's it's a great looking car, no noises, nice, straight as an arrow drive down the road. The steering response is really amazing on this. It has to have a high resolution box on it with a little higher steering ratio. Fantastic car. Clutch is very easy on it. I haven't felt a clutch this easy for a long time. Really a nice car. Careful, there's a lot of traffic out today, but this is one strong running 454. Pulls like a freight train. It's a 5-speed Tremec. You can take it out and drive it on the road anywhere you want to go. Got a nice sound to it, not objectionably loud with those Flowmasters on it, the 3-inch pipes. It's just we're going to try brakes or no hands. I think we can do it right now. There's no cars behind me, so there, brakes, no hands to a dead stop, and I still haven't touched my steering wheel, so nice running car. What a strong running Chevy, here it is. Got a real good sound to it. It has a nice pull to it. It's not a real peaky engine. Has a lot of low end and mid-range torque to it, and all the top end you want out of this guy. So if you're in the market for a really up-end Camaro, better take a look at this one, because I don't think it's going to last too long. Very high quality car.